Hello and welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, hi, my name is Mary and welcome to another Craft Day Monday, where every Monday I post a new video. In today's video I am going to be showing you how I made this floating fork of spaghetti. This is something I have never tried before, but yeah, I decided that I wanted to try it, and I did a practice run and I liked the way it came out, so I decided why not do another one for my YouTube family. So what you're going to need for this is you're going to need some brown clay. You're going to need a little bit of water. You're going to need some green moss. This is what I'm going to be using for my parsley to go on top. You're going to need a paintbrush, a standard popsicle stick. We're going to stir with this. We're going to be using a little plastic party fork that you can get at Dollar Tree. I have these little dishes that I have on hand, but you can use a plastic plate or a lid or anything else that you have on hand. You're going to need some toilet paper. You're going to need a styrofoam dish or anything else that you have to mix everything in. We're going to be using copper wire, because this is the only thing I have on hand and it's easy to work with. And we're going to be using 3 different color paints. I am going to be using tomato red. I am going to be using nutmeg brown and also flag red. And I'm going to go ahead and, and you're also going to need scissors, and I'm going to be using vanilla flavored, a vanilla envelope, or you can just use cardstock, whichever you have on hand. And you're going to be needing a bowl of water, and I'll show you what I have here. And I have some of my noodles, my cardstock already cut, and this is what it's going to look like. I'm just going to set that to the side. Now we're going to turn the camera down so we can go ahead and get into the video. So first things first, I'm going to go ahead, before I do anything, I'm going to glue my wire in place, and I am going to be using my glue gun for that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead, take my scissors and cut the wire, and then we're just going to bend the wire up a bit. Let's move this out the way. And what I'm doing is I'm going to go ahead, squeeze the wire together with my fingers, because it's just that. It's easy to work with. And then I'm just going to go ahead and twist this wire around itself. So this is what it looks like. Now I'm going to bend this a bit. So I'm just making like a little U shape. And I'm just going to hold that like that so I can see about where I want my fork to go. And now I'm going to go ahead and take my wire, and we're going to bend this again. So this is what we got. This is what it's looking like. And now I'm just going to straighten this up a bit, and I'm going to take my fork, and I'm just going to hold it here to see about how I want that to look. Okay. I'm just going to go in and just give myself a little more wire to play around with. And now I'm just going to play around with this until I'm happy with where it's at. Straighten it up a bit. Okay, that looks good to me. Now I'm going to go ahead, grab my glue gun, and we're just going to squeeze some hot glue right here. And we're just going to go ahead and glue this down to the plate very carefully so that you don't burn yourself. And once that's dry, I'll go ahead and glue my fork in place. But I'm going to take my glue gun and I'm going to hold this up here so y'all can see. So this is where it's at. And I'm just going to go ahead and put some hot glue, just a little more hot glue. And this is just going to hold this in place. And we're just going to let this dry a bit. And I'm going to take my fork. I got glue on my hands, so smooth this out the way. I'm going to take my fork and I'm going to adjust this just like this. I'm going to go ahead, put a little bit of hot glue right directly on the back. And I'm just going to go ahead and hold this here and allow that to dry. So once you get your fork glued into place, this is what it should look like. This way. So yeah, just like this. So I have it glued here and I have it in the air just like that. So this is what you should have. And if you want it to be more of an angle, you can always adjust your wire a bit to have it go like that. And then we can move it over. I was just making sure mine is nice and centered, and this is what it's looking like. So I'm going to continue to let that dry, and we're just going to set that to the side. Now we're going to work on our sauce. And I am going to go ahead and I'm going to pull some water in. So I got some water in my bowl. You can't see that well, sorry, but it's there. And now we're just going to go ahead and tear up some toilet paper. And I'm going to go ahead and put in some paint so y'all can see. So we're just going to go in with a little bit of red first. And then I'm going to use a little bit of my tomato red. And I'm just going to hit it with a little bit of brown. And I'm still going to go ahead and shred up some toilet paper. And you may have to add some more water. And yeah. So I'm just going to go ahead, tear my toilet paper up in here. I'm going to go ahead and give this a quick stir. Going to put a little more water. And I don't want it to be like, I want it to be kind of chunky a little bit because I like that chunky spaghetti sauce when I have spaghetti. I kind of don't eat the sauce on top. I mix it all through, but I thought this would be a little more easier to work with. So I'm just going to go ahead and continue to tear up these little strips of paper. I'm going to stir that in. And I'm going to go ahead and go in with a little more brown. And I got a couple different colors. I got another brown here that I'll probably be using for the meatballs. So I'm going to go ahead and continue to mix this all the way through. So this is what it looks like once you get it all stirred. And also, don't be afraid to get in there with your hands if you don't mind getting your hands dirty. Okay, so now we're going to set that to the side. And what you're going to do for your spaghetti noodles with your cardstock is you're going to go ahead and you're going to cut thin strips of cardstock. So once you get your pieces cut, like this, you're going to go ahead and you're going to soak those in your bowl of water that I have right here. So mine's been soaking for a while. I'm just going to go ahead and stick these in here. And we're just going to go ahead. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take our noodles, or our cardstock, and we're just going to squeeze out some of that, pretty much all of that water. And this is what you're going to be left with. We're going to set that to the side. And now what I'm going to do, I'm going to grab some paper towel. And I'm just going to go ahead and clean off my area a bit. And I'm just going to go ahead and take these apart just like this. So this is what I'm doing. I'm just going to take my noodles apart for the most part. So there's that. I'm going to bring my fork back with my noodles. And what I'm going to do first is I'm going to go ahead and just place some of my noodles right down on my plate. But before I do that, I'm going to grab my Mod Podge, and I'm just going to brush my plate a bit. So this is just going to help everything stick. And I'm only brushing in this area because this is where mainly where I want my noodles to be. It's right here in this area. I don't know if I don't want to cover the whole plate, I don't think. So I'm just going to do this. And I'm just going to grab my noodles. And we're just going to go ahead and just stick that right down on top. So it's going to look just like this. I also thinking about doing this, attempting this with to make chicken Alfredo with little slices of chicken in the bottom of the plate. If that's something that y'all want to see, let me know. So I'm just going to put a little more right here in the back. So we're just going to go and stick this right here. So it's like this. And I'm just pressing down a bit just to make sure everything sticks. I'm just going to smooth it out. I'm just going to add a little more right here. Stick that down here. Now, while it's drying and doing its thing, we're going to go ahead and take our noodles and we're going to wrap them around. So basically what we're doing is this wire that's right here, we're just going to hide that wire. And I'm just going to go ahead and grab a little bit of hot glue. Stick that on there. And we're just going to take our noodles and we're just going to stick that right in back. Just like this. So basically what we're going to do is cover that wire so it can't be seen. So you're going to go ahead and take the wire and you're going to cover up everything. So once you got it covered in the back, that's what it should look like. Now we're going to focus on covering the front. So what I do for the front is I just take a little bit of my noodles and I just fold it a bit, just like this, and we just put it across the top. Or if you want, you can have it. Now here's the point where you just play around with it to see what looks best for you. I think what I'm going to do is like fold over a couple pieces, just like this. So when I say fold over, I just mean just take them and fold them just like that. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to grab some and we're just going to fold it. And I'm going to take these. And I think what I'm going to do is just stick that. Going to go ahead and just put a little bit up like this, I think. So I'm just going to cut a little bit off. So it's stringy like that. So this is kind of how I want it. I'm just solely going based off the one that I just made. And I'm just going to go ahead and see how I want this. Okay, I like that way. So what I'm going to do is put a little bit of hot glue right directly on the paper or noodles. And then we're just going to go ahead and stick that right down on this fork very carefully because you don't want your fork to fall. I'm just going to grab a little bit more glue, stick that there, and we're just going to put that just like this. So we got everything glued in place. Put a little bit of hot glue there. Stick this right down on there. And I'm using a low temp glue gun because I am working with hot glue in plastic. So you don't want to use a high temp or it's just going to melt. So there. So this is what it looks like. I'm just going to go ahead and cut this little piece off. There we go. So this is what we have so far. This is what it's looking like. So this is what we have. Now we're going to go ahead and put our sauce in. And this is probably where your hands are going to get a bit messy. But it's okay because I can use this water that I have here and paper towels to clean my hands up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take my mixture and I'm just going to squeeze it out a bit. And I'm taking my fingers. Let's move that. And I'm just going to spread it apart because I don't want as much sauce as I have on my other one. I'm just going to spread this out a bit. So I'm going to go ahead and place this directly right on top of my noodles. So just like this. And I'm going to play around with it. And I'm taking my paintbrush and I'm just spreading the sauce around a bit. Excuse me, I know I said paintbrush, but I meant my popsicle stick or craft stick. I'm just going to spread this around just like this. And now that I have that spread, I'm going to go ahead and wash my hands and I'll be back. So now I got my hands all washed and this is what it's looking like so far. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to take my green moss that I crushed up and I'm just going to use a little bit of this for my parsley. And we're going to set that to the side. And now we're going to take our brown clay. And it's not as brown as I like it to be, but it's okay because we're going to paint it to get it the color that we want. And I'm going to go ahead and start off with making some little bitty round balls. These are going to be my meatballs. And I'm just going to make them a little bit smaller. So we're just going to, and I think I'm going to do maybe 3, I think. So there's the meatballs. And now I am going to go ahead and take my, my toothpick and I'm just kind of just going in with it. Just putting, like just making little holes and pushing it around to give the meatball a little bit of detail. And I'm going to do that same thing to them all. So basically, I'm just taking and just sticking my toothpick in and pulling it out and just giving it some texture. You can do the same thing with a piece of aluminum foil. So to show you what I mean, I have a piece of balled up foil here, piece of aluminum foil, and we're just going to go ahead and just give this little meatball some texture. You can use toothpick, you can use the aluminum foil, basically whatever you have on hand. You can even use a needle if you have one. So now what we're going to do, and I'm just going to flatten these out a bit because I want them to be able to set nicely down off in my spaghetti. So I think I'm going to start here and put one here, here, and back here. Or you can bring it up like this. And now I'm going to go ahead and grab my paintbrush, and I'm going in with some darker brown paint, and I'm just going to stick my paintbrush down off in there like this, and then we're just going to go ahead and just put texture, just dot this all the way around the meatballs until you get it all covered, and then you're happy with the color of it. And once this dries, it's going to get a lot darker. Like the sauce will be a lot darker. And you can take hot glue, or you can use wood glue, or you can use any kind of glue you want. And you can take it and glue your meatballs down like I did the other one. And I'll probably do that too. But first I want to go ahead and just give them a little bit of texture or color. So now I'm going to go ahead, put a little bit of hot glue right down in here. We're just going to stick that right here. A little bit right there. And then we're going to do a little bit right here. Going to go ahead, pop that meatball right back in there. I'm going to dry my hands. Going to go in with this brown again, and we're just going to go ahead and go around and stick this. And this is what we have. Now I'm going to go ahead with the rest of my little moss, my parsley, and we're just going to sprinkle a little more down in place. Or you can use cheese. It really depends on what you like or how you like your spaghetti. And this is it. And this is what it looks like. It's floating in the air. And now I'm going to go ahead and turn my camera back up. So once again, here it is. If you like this video, please give me a like and a thumbs up. Please feel free to share this video with your family and friends. If you are not already subscribed, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I would love for you to become part of my YouTube family. And with that being said, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to watch one of my videos. That really means a lot. And yeah, I hope you all have a nice day. And please, in the comment box, tell me how your Christmas was. What did you do for Christmas? Did you go anywhere? How did you bring the New Year's in? As for me, we just stayed home, and I did not watch the ball drop because I went to bed like at 9 o'clock because I'm old. But yeah, with that being said, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you all have a nice day. Bye.